What's happening, everybody? Thursday night. ATL Flag Football Podcast, and we all back in the building. It's your boy Low Man, and you got your man back in town, Mr. 5-Star on Sports himself, James Reese. What's up, James? How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good. I'm glad to be back with you guys. Had to handle some business and do some things. I tried to check in when I could to stay connected, but glad to be back here.
That's what's up.
You know.
So, a lot went down last week. A lot of conversation. It spurred on. We'll get into all that stuff later on, man. But let's first hop into a couple good little topics that happened offline in the real world. So I'll start because I want to end it with the other topic. So I'm going to start with LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith, part 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we know, LeBron made a very rare appearance on Pat McAfee's show. And LeBron typically does not do that kind of stuff. So, It was really, really surprising. So, number one, you got to wonder, does Stephen A. Smith rub him in the bad way that much that it brought him out? Because let's face, Skip Bayless talked so bad about him for many years. I mean, if you hate anybody, it should be Skip. It should be Skip. Stephen A. at least says you're the number 2 player in his mind of all time. Skip don't even give you top 10. So I'm like, daggone, how you... But he had a whole lot to say. And naturally, he couldn't wait to get on the Stephen A. Smith thing. He had a lot to say about coverage of basketball, things of that nature, man. So, but James, after, this part 2, he first approached him in person. And now he kind of goes social media. But Stephen A. also has been going, as LeBron said, a Taylor Swift tour. Are your thoughts the same, change, sway? How do you feel about this whole scenario?
Okay, so I missed the LeBron response on Pat McAfee. I only heard about his response when I heard Stephen A. say that he would have swung. So I was like, oh, wow, okay. So, and I thought he was, referencing the initial thing. I didn't know there was.
We are live on the page, right? So I'm still seeing the logo on mine. So let's make sure we're good.
It's a different link. That was what I wanted to say. Yeah, I had to repost the new link because the original. No, I'm telling Angelo, it's a different link.
Okay.
Because I had the other link waiting, but then I saw us on the screen. So it's a different link. And I've reposted the new link.
All right, because the other link I got was going 9 minutes long. I'm like, that's not it. All right, I got you.
Okay.
You posted on both pages?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So
I see it now.
So I was rather surprised when I heard Stephen A. say that. Now, whether he would have swung on him is debatable because based on what LeBron, that first swing, I don't know necessarily that Stephen A. would have been still standing. He might have attempted to get up to swing back, and of course we can say that after the fact and be confident with it because it didn't happen.
Right.
But I am surprised that LeBron decided to come back out and say. But exactly what was it that he said?
That LeBron said?
Yeah. What did LeBron say on McAfee?
Basically, in reference to Stephen A. Smith, he just kind of alluded to the fact of, Stephen A. couldn't wait to talk about him approaching him and that Stephen A. still don't get the reason why he approached him. And quite honestly, LeBron he didn't clear it up either.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He really didn't clear up the reason either. He just said he still don't get it. But
because I still don't get why LeBron did it. Why Stephen O. Smith? He ain't the first person that talked about you.
Like I said, it's the fact. It's clear they don't care for each other. And I think the one thing I think Stephen A. Smith did say that's accurate is LeBron is the biggest persona in sports right now. Stephen A. Smith, you got to acknowledge, is the biggest, if not one of the biggest personas in media,
Uh-huh.
especially sports media.
Uh-huh.
So, cut off the head.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think he went at the top.
Stephen A. or LeBron?
LeBron went at the top.
Okay,
And
that's
Stephen A.
right.
Smith. If I want to get my point across, what I'm trying to say, I'm gonna go at the person that's gonna get the most exposure from it, and it did. Mm-hmm. But did it just really just backfire in terms of you still put all that additional pressure on your son, which is the thing that Stephen A. Smith said in the first
And I
place.
totally agree with Stephen A. Smith's take that he's only in the league because of you. I was watching something the other day, and they were talking about they did the vote and put Bronny in the top 55 players in the league. I don't see that.
Top 55 players in the league.
Currently.
Who would say such a thing?
Exactly, and that's what the
that's
the
crazy
thing was
talk.
saying. He's nowhere close to that, but he's only there because of whoever it is probably is a fan of LeBron. Just as if we know that Ronnie's only in the league.
Listen, I hate that narrative though. And why do I hate that narrative, James?
Okay, because it's true right now.
Because there are a lot of players that are picked in that second round and or free agency who you could say the same thing about.
Well, let me rephrase
There are a lot
that.
of people who made the league because of relationships, because of this, because they. If we think Bron is the first person to get in the league,
let me rephrase and clarify. He's only getting the publicity, and he was picked where he was picked because of LeBron.
The publicity, yes.
The Lakers probably wouldn't have picked him if LeBron wasn't there.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if that's 100% fact because his name is still LeBron James Jr., which garners attention. So no matter what team he would have gone to, it would have garnered media attention, whether he was with his dad or not. If Sacramento would have picked him, it would have been LeBron James Jr. is on the Sacramento Kings, and then it would have garnered media coverage. So because of his name, it's gonna still garner media coverage. You know what I mean? So, and to say whether or not he would have been in the league or not, I think that's so irrelevant. You got what's up, daggone Martin the building. You got people like what's Giannis's brother. Giannis's brother can't dribble full court. I mean, he can't dribble from court to court without fumbling the ball. But nobody talks about him.
Because Giannis isn't LeBron James.
That's my point. So my point is he's going to get attention regardless. You know what I mean? Whoever would have drafted Bronny was going to get attention. Bronny's jersey was still the top selling jersey of all the rookies drafted. You know what I mean? And he's the 55th pick. So I think it's made way more attention than it was, you know what I mean? But I just think what LeBron did right here is go at the head. I'm going to go at Stephen A. Smith. Is going to do this. And Stephen A. Smith, because he's in the media, which is based on results and coverage, I'm gonna respond to it. I'm sure whether he wants to or not, the boss said, "Oh, you gotta talk about it. You got to, because everybody's eyes is on it. You know what I mean? It's a story. It's a hot topic. So,
I think that LeBron is the one that probably.
Here you go, Gates. Gates said we need some guests of substance. Well, Gates, look who walked to the door. And where you at anyway? You live right down the street. So what you talking about? There's some other rumors called about picking Bron, and Rich Paul told him no. That's what the rumor is. We'll never know if that's true or not. You know what I mean? But it's possible, and I think some teams would have drafted him. I really do. Why? Because of the media coverage. You're going to sell tickets. These folks, this is a business, man. At the end of the day, this is a business. So, that's how I see it.
But I think at the end of the day, I think LeBron's probably the one that needs to be the bigger man and walk away, because I don't think he'll win this battle in the media with Stephen A. Smith.
I think this is a situation where people are going to choose sides. If you're a LeBron fan, you're going to rock with LeBron. If you're a Stephen A. Smith fan, say this: if you are a non-LeBron fan, you're going to rock with Stephen A. Smith. And I know, just based on the arguments we have back here in the club all the time about the same scenario, everybody you can tell who likes LeBron and who don't, because all LeBron haters are all rooting off of Stephen A. Smith. All of them. You know what I mean?
Well, I meant more so as to where Stephen A. has more power to tarnish LeBron's image than LeBron has to do Stephen A.
You're not going to be able to tarnish LeBron's image.
I mean,
I'm sorry. Stephen A. still he can talk about it, he can bring attention to it. But this dude here, bro, is still one of one. You ain't gonna be able to tarnish this guy's image. You know what I mean? He's what this guy has been. Man, this is the most scrutinized sports player in history, man. No one has ever been more scrutinized in sports than this guy. From 17 years old, this guy walked into the NBA as a grown man, and he was dubbed the chosen one. And he's been covered Sports Illustrated. We watched this guy play high school basketball on ESPN Live. I mean, this guy's been in the limelight his better part of his entire life. So and there's no affairs, there's no kids, there's no adultery, there's no fights, there's no DUIs, there's no, you know what I mean? He's gone through all the scrutiny. What else you gonna say? His game? That's all what else you gonna say? Now you gonna talk about his son? So, what else you gonna talk about?
You familiar with Two Live Stews?
Sure.
Okay. So I think Doug was on today, and he was saying that if you sit down and think about the history, because they always comparing him and Mike, it was like, Mike caught the hate from the day he came into the league. He was like, he ain't good enough, he was this and that. But then once he won, then all of it changed for him, so to speak, overall. But then he was like, if you go back and think about it, nobody hated LeBron in the beginning. It wasn't until the decision that LeBron garnered such disdain and distaste because he went to go get help, whereas the narrative is that Jordan got it from the mud and LeBron got it from help. And so that's when a lot of the criticism, this is what he said. It's on, actually, if you watch him, it's on Facebook on the Two Live Stews. They have a group. But that was what he said. So what do you think about that?
I mean, there's truth to that. But if you listen to, and this is LeBron gave a take today or yesterday, whatever the interview was, that made a lot of sense, right? And I can see his point. He said, hey, I thought the way it was approached and brought to me was, let's make this a media thing. He said, I never went to college. I never got to put on the hat. I never got to do these things. This was like my moment of choosing. You know what I mean? And I was like, I can see that. I can see that because, being able to sign a scholarship to go to college is a dope experience. You know what I mean? Folks that will bless the experience, it's a grand experience. You know what I mean? You and it's something that you're going to always have. You know what I mean? That moment. So he never had that moment. So I can see where that's a moment. And I can see where it's a good attention. But I also know they also raised $30 million for a charity with that same thing, And we keep talking about the help part. LeBron left Cleveland not to run for help. It was the fact that the ownership would not give him the help in Cleveland, and he asked for it every year, and they wouldn't give it to him. They wouldn't bring in the talent that he asked them to bring in. So he said, okay, if you're not going to do it, I'll go somewhere else and do it. They wouldn't bring in the talent. That owner was very, very cheap. He wouldn't spend no money on nobody. I always challenge people. Tell me the starting lineup that LeBron took to Cleveland Cavaliers to fight that championship. It was LeBron and who? Exactly. No one can ever. You got to be a straight Cleveland Cavalier fan to be able to name all the starting five. You can name up three or four. You know what I mean? He took
Delonte West, Kevin Love.
Kevin Love wasn't on that team.
Oh, he came on the second team with Kyrie. Oh, I would just name it. I have no clue. Not
an all-star, not a nothing. And you took that team to a championship. You know what I mean? So, he was never given help, bro. He was never given any help, and that's why he left. Y'all won't give me no help? Okay, fine. Me and my boys, we're going to go ride. I have no problem with it. I have no problem with the decision that he did.
Oh, I didn't have a problem with the decision.
But I'm just saying that's where the hate started at.
But,
that's where the media hate.
Yeah.
And the people started comparing him. Like, well, Jordan did this. Well, Jordan did. Well, they got Jordan some help. They brought in help for Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Scotty wasn't there originally. Luke wasn't there originally. What's the center? They brought him help. They never gave LeBron no help. Rodman wasn't there. I mean, you just got to think about what the help that was brought in. So how you going to be mad at that man? And then nobody gives him credit for the fact that when he made that decision, It changed the entire dynamics of free agency in basketball. The reason why these folks are getting these super max contracts, and if you stay with your team, you get, you know what I mean? It was all because of LeBron and that decision. That's where all these folks started getting paid from. But he don't get the credit due for that. But that junk started from that moment. All these guys getting these stupid contracts because of that decision. And that's a fact. Go look it up. Go look it up. So, hey, man, I ride with LeBron. I don't think it was right what he did approaching Stephen A. But I still think, you know, I don't think he's getting the credit he deserves. What you think, Mike? Any comments on this stuff, man?
About what?
LeBron, Stephen A. Smith.
I mean, he doing what he should do. For one, he flexing his muscle. You know what I'm saying? Like, he say he the king, this and that. So he flexing his muscle to show him, like, hey man, I'm really what I say I am. And then, you know, a lot of people mad at him about his son or whatnot. But I look at it a different way. If I'm LeBron James and I got a son that desires to play basketball, why would I want him to just get drafted to any type of situation where he might run into some vets that gonna show him the wrong way? You know how many players in the league that could have been more than what they was, but they were drafted to a certain team where the vets took them out all the time, showed them the nightlight other than showing them, you know what I'm saying, how to stay in the gym. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, I'm your dad or whatever. I done showed you up until this point, but you know how we all do, you know what I'm saying? We start to see other stuff and we kind of drift away. So it's like, you know, I'm gonna keep them close here. I'm gonna show them how the NBA is, you know, showing how to everything we've been training on, you know what I'm saying? And it's a different life. You with the big boys now. So it's like, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna be your vet. You know, I'm gonna surround you around good things. So once I leave, you know what I mean, you already know what to do, what not to do. You know, it's different from me just telling you this and that, you know what I'm saying? Now that I can actually show you, because not only am I'm there more, you know what I'm saying, you there with me. So I like that. And a lot of people don't like the thing when you live through your kids, but I personally think that when you have a child, man, you know, that's a second chance at life. You know what I mean? Things that you know you desire to be, and you know you might have had the potential certain things, but it was just things that was in your way blocking you. Could have been yourself also, you know what I'm saying? But now you got this second chance at life, and you like, all right, so look, when I was this age, I did this, I did that. I don't want my son. I know he need to train more, you know what I'm saying? Because when I was that age, I just allowed my ability to get me through. And I seen that once I got to from 16 to 18 or 17, my ability didn't get me through no more, because it was folks over here that was really working hard, you know what I'm saying, with their ability. So now that I got this second chance at life, my son got the same abilities that I have, but he's going to be better because now his work ethic could be better, because I can push him because I'm able to see this and see that and what I seen. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a good thing what he doing, you know what I'm saying, with his son or whatnot. And with him and Stephen A, I don't really pay too much attention to it. I look at it, whatever, but it's all entertainment. That's all it is. You know, they ain't neither one of them finna do nothing to each other.
Facts.
He say Stephen A on the Taylor Swift tour. He on the same thing. You know what I'm saying? He went on there and talked too. You feel me? So he wanted something to be heard the same way Stephen A want to be heard. So they both just entertaining everybody that wants something to entertain, you know, get through your day.
I like it. I like that. I like that.
Gates said that the internet made it more obvious back in the day. Many people hated MJ, but we didn't see it because there was no internet where we could read all the hate. And then Sapp says technically he was help for someone else who won a championship without him in Miami. And the SEC...
Yeah, but he had Shaq. Go ahead.
SEC said Stephen A. Smith had zero business bringing up Kobe. And then Sapp says that was a D-Wade team. What Stephen A.
He talking about when LeBron went to Miami, that was D-Wade's team. Yeah. However, when LeBron got there, D-Wade's... When they were struggling early, D-Wade told him, hey, bro, you need to do this. We'll follow. So... it became LeBron's team, whether you like it or not. That's just D-Wade said it. And we knew the only way we were going to win, LeBron had to lead, and we followed. And that's just facts. So real quick, man, we'll jump to this other one. Deion Sanders, Asante Samuel. Asante Samuel is questioning whether or not Deion should be the greatest and threw his stats in there and said take his 5 years against anything what Deion ever did. Da 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 da.
So you want to talk? You want to talk to the Deion expert first?
Go ahead.
So my response to Asante in that situation was that Asante, you were able to get picks because no one was scared of you, whereas Deion would go whole games without ever getting the ball thrown to his side because no one dared throw over there. So it's hard to get picks when no one's even challenging you. And, you know, you just didn't do all of what Deion did. I'm sorry, Asante, you're just not him. So I think Asante was way out of line for talking what he was talking. I don't know what somebody fed him. He smoked, drank, or whatever before he made that. But that just sounded like a bunch of foolery to me.
So now, you still respect Deion as a football player. You hate on him as a coach.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I mean, as a football player, let's be real. Can't take that away. He was the man. You know, and he would bait you into attempting to throw over there.
Absolutely.
So he could get them few picks that he was able to get, but he was not. Nobody threw on Deion until the end when turf toe came.
Yeah, I mean, what you think, Mount? What's your thoughts on Deion and Asante? You heard the conversations?
Yeah, I heard it. Shit. I mean, I think they both,
fellas.
you know, have a right to say what it is they want to say. I think it's some truth in both. You know what I mean? I think when it comes to Deion, it's about the name. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what somebody else say, it can be all the way out true. You know what I'm saying? His name is his name. So you gonna like what James just said. Certain things James just said. It's not true because people threw at Deion. You know, certain teams didn't throw at Deion, but people threw at Deion. You know, it was certain teams that didn't throw Sante Samuel's way. You know what I mean? They were both great in their own way. You know what I mean? With what they team needed them to do for what they needed them to do. You know what I'm saying? So they both have a right to say what was best and worked better for them. But I just think since it's Deion, you know, people make it to be as if he just all the way wrong and Buddy didn't play in the NFL and Buddy don't have no picks and Buddy don't have, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, Deion just can't do no wrong, can't say no wrong. You know, he's never got thrown at, and we can go look at videos of him getting scolded on, you know. And it's kind of like the LeBron and Jordan situation, you know what I mean? Like, everything just like as if Jordan never missed a shot, never did this, never did that, and it's the same with Deion. You know, he done got beat for touchdowns. He done gave up first downs. He done missed tackles. He done did it all to where somebody can look at him and say, well, you know, your technique or this and that wasn't the best. You know, you were just freaky athletic, you know, stylish, made it look good. But, you know, when you turn on the tape, what made your tape really different from mine other than the style of it? You feel me? So, you know.
Yeah, I think it comes down to there are players in sports that are generational players, and these guys are the ones that, you know, transcend the sport. And when they play, their contribution to the sport changes it. And I think Deion's contribution, you know, to the sport, to that particular position, changed it. You know what I mean? Nope. And we had great corners back in the day. You know what I mean? But you weren't having one guy go down there and just take out a side of a field and nobody threw to it. You didn't have one guy go out there and they didn't even put a safety. They rolled the whole safety to the other side and said, he got this. You know what I mean? He's just and Asante Samuel was a dog. I mean, he was a dog. He was a real baller. But, you know, would I take Asante Samuel over Charles Woodson? Nope. I mean, I wouldn't. As a cover corner, you know, Champ Bailey. I mean, Rod Woods when he first got. I mean, there's some guys. I think Asante Samuel.
Reeves.
You were Reeves Allen. Come on, man. You were a great player, but Deion to me was a generational player. You know what I mean? You know, it's just like Steph Curry with the three. These people revolutionized. These people, when they left, they changed the game. I mean, they made their impact. Lawrence Taylor. These people made impact. These people, when they stepped on the field, the entire game just changed. You know what I mean? And Asante Sam was never that guy. You know what I mean?
And
You were a great corner, but you weren't that guy.
But I
And then
disagree though.
Deion
tell me
did
why.
so much more
Go ahead.
than just the DB position as well.
Sure. Special teams,
You know,
receiver.
even punted a few
He
times.
changed the balance of power from 49ers to the cap. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, he was a difference maker. But go ahead. You say you disagree. Why?
I disagree because it was teams that, it was games where Asante shut down the whole side. It might have been man to man as you wanted it to be. Not saying you, but just in
I got
general. You know what I'm saying? But it was teams that looked at like, oh, he can jump some shit. So we can't throw this. We can't throw that. We got to change our game plan around this, around it. That's what I'm saying. Like, they two different total cornerbacks, but it just really all about what style you like. Like I say, even when you brought up Charles Woodson, towards the end of his career, they had to move him to safety. They ain't moved Asante. He played cornerback all the way until it was pretty much time for him to exit the league. You know what I'm saying? So it just, like I said, it just really just depends on what style you like. But I like Asante. I like Deion. You know what I'm saying? I think both of them great corners in their own right. You know what I mean? Again, whoever you like, you gonna side with them either way it go. But I think he changed the game just as much as Deion. He got 2 Super Bowls just like Deion.
Right. What's up, bro?
What you know good? Hey, what's up, man?
What to do, bro?
All right.
I forgot about Nnamdi Asomugha in his
man.
heyday.
I mean, it's just so many. Daryl Green.
No,
I mean,
he
you-
only had like 2. I mean, he only had like 3, maybe 4
4
good
good
seasons.
seasons.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was-
you that Darryl Green.
He was
yeah,
just
definitely.
a tall, long cornerback, man.
Yeah.
That
it's just so
actually
many.
went to a wrong situation. Well, that's another one. He wasn't no real just hellified man-to-man cornerback. You know what I'm saying? But he was great in zone, and he could play man. And they tried to make him all the way a man cornerback. So that's what, you know what I'm saying, made him not look like he looked when he was with the Raiders. But no,
When I say generational talent, and you're right in the assessment, people gonna pick what they pick. I'm just saying if you look at the cornerback position prior to prime, they weren't. You had very few corners that would just play that particular man or take your best. Daryl. A lot of these guys still played their own side of the field.
They didn't cross over.
They weren't crossing over back in
And
the day.
definitely didn't go in the slide.
And they, yeah,
Definitely
that's
did.
what I'm saying. What he did was just
He went
different.
everywhere.
And everybody wasn't doing that. And I say these other cornerbacks started doing that afterwards. That's what makes you a generational transition type player. When people start doing things after you, model their games after you, they change up systems after you. That's when you're that generational type player. You know what I mean?
Gates said Deion was the best ever. Even Asante Samuel skipped over all the other cornerbacks and brought up Deion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got anything on this topic, man, before we get in this flag football world?
Man, y'all go ahead.
All right. All right, we'll jump on in, man. This was week 3.
Week three.
Week 3.
So don't have let me see. We didn't get y'all picks, so we can't really go talk about them like that. But I'm pretty sure y'all might remember who you picked when you picked them.
Nah, she did a good job of taking notes.
Just call the games out again.
Oh no, we gonna do that. I'm just.
Don't tell the score though, and let them pick again. And
I think they all know who won. So let's see. We'll start out with McNair. So we opened up the day. Donald McNair. Okay, we had DOA hosting the Georgia Raiders at McNair. If I remember, I think you guys picked DOA. I remember catching some of that.
I think we all picked DOA because they was undefeated as is.
Yeah. I don't think anybody picked Raiders because they were, struggling at the time. And seemed like they continue to struggle. They lost that game 13-0. Raiders are having a little quarterback issues right now.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're having a little quarterback issue. Whereas DOA has some extra coaching, and I think that's definitely helped them. They're focused, they're locked in. So they won that game 13-0.
Okay.
Next after that, we had Paid in Full at DOA. Paid in Full was coming in doing much better than they've done seasons past. But DOA had said that they have a goal of going undefeated.
They said.
That's what they said. So, I think Paid in Full is coming in off a 25-point game. I think that's probably the most they've scored as well. So I expected that to be a high-powered, close game. It was a close game. Score was 13-12.
Oh,
Okay.
I tell people them kickers make a difference. You need a
Facts.
kicker. You need a kicker.
13-12 who?
13-12 DOA.
DOA. Okay.
So DOA remained
DOA
undefeated.
6-0.
They coming in hot at 6-0. Then we had the Raiders at the Big Swamp Bucks. Without DJ, maybe they just the Swamp Bucks. I don't think they right. They're so big right now. He's an integral part of their offense. But then, again, Raiders haven't been much better. So I would expect this to probably be a 7-6 really tight game. But Raiders pulled it out 18-0.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that all Swamp Bucks losses should be blamed on Coley, not on DJ.
Why you say that?
Because Coley went on a podcast at the beginning of the season, said he wasn't worried about he think everybody's sorry. That's kind of just.
Well, you coming into the season.
I mean,
you
confidence
got
is
confident.
one thing, but to say everybody's sorry.
I
that's
told
extreme.
somebody else that from a team with a bunch of animals that there's the difference between confidence and cockiness.
Correct.
And so so we going into the next game after that. We had Goon Squad at PNF. Of course, PNF coming in the week before 2-0, so they're gonna avenge that prior loss to DOA. Goon Squad had not been looking so well. They still trying to find themselves. But
And what PD playing at?
PD is playing with
Goon Squad.
Goon Squad.
Okay.
So Goon Squad also won this game.
Roadkill.
18.
I said it again.
Goon Squad took this game 18-0.
Oh, really?
I was really shocked at this
Over
score.
PNF?
Over PNF.
Wow.
18-0.
Dang, PNF.
So I don't know what happened with PNF. This wasn't the team that.
Damn, I don't know who I picked in that game.
Yeah,
That was one of them split games, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I don't think everybody picked Goon Squad in this one.
Yeah, you might be up on that one because I definitely don't think I picked Goon Squad.
Sydney not up there. He probably trying to find some players because his animals ran away.
God. So. Wasn't it?
Zoo shit. Hold on, Zoo shit.
So yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, is that the game? Let me look before I say that. I don't want to overspeak, but I think that is the game where, I don't have it, but I think that's the game. I don't know. Anyway, next we had Swamp Bucks at Goon Squad.
Yeah, I think everybody took.
Everybody picked Goon Squad on that one. Yeah.
Goon Squad won that one 20-0.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, Swamp
So
Bucks.
Swamp Bucks lost 38-0. Good Lord.
Basically.
That's a rough Sunday.
Yeah. Like I said, DJ ain't there, him in that boot. And, it's kind of hard. Next we had Gracias por Se versus The Zoo.
Big boot Brady.
Who did y'all pick on this?
Man,
I know you picked Zoo, Dwayne.
He
only
did.
because I told
I watched
Sydney that I would pick him at least one game, and I knew I shouldn't have stuck.
And that's the game that we would all expect them to win. And you know,
I picked boot.
well, Zoo put up 12 points, so
Okay.
you know Brady don't normally put up 12 points, but he did put up 13. So Patriots won that one 13-12. And then the next game, Patriots TYB. I'm pretty sure Angelo picked Patriots because he doesn't like that name. And Dwayne, was this your week for TYB?
I didn't pick them none this year. Don't plan on it.
Patriots won this one 25-13.
Okay, Brady putting up
Wow.
some points.
So you
Wow.
know, this was the most points TYB scored, but this probably was also the most Patriots gonna score. So they took that one 25. So that sent the Patriots at 2-0 this week.
How about that?
It's been a long time since I've said that. And then you had Zoo Atlanta versus one of his many old teams, LOZ. That was a 9-6 game. I believe this was the game where Dom threw that deep pass to John running up the sideline. And dude came over and, you know, tried to take Don out, attempting to go for the flag, but he kind of sort of bounced off of him while John kept rolling down the side. So, yeah, LOZ won this one 9-6. Then we had...
So it ain't just me, A. Barnett. Yeah.
So then,
I agree.
What we had United at TYB. I'm pretty sure everybody picked United in
for
that
sure.
game. But TYB scored again.
Okay.
United took that one 16-7.
Okay.
Then we had LOZ at Fly By Night. We had a fourth ref on the field that wasn't assigned throwing flags. Oh, okay. We had Fly By Night at LOZ. Fly By Night, LOZ going for the 2-0 game day, something they haven't done in a while. Multiple times in the season, rather. I think they did it weeks ago. But LOZ pulled this one out 16-8. I think that's about how many people.
Joker said petting zoo.
And then we had the last game of the day. We had
That's why Sydney not here tonight.
I mean, they did win at least one game every week. So it was he had enough to come up here.
well, you know, they had practice last week, so maybe they were still at practice this week.
Right. That's what
You
it
know.
was.
Getting ready because I mean they got big games this weekend. We'll get to them, but I think they probably took a little bit extra time so they could assure victories this week. We got Fly By Night versus the team that they did not come from, United, and United took that one 8-0.
Okay.
So then we move over on to Carver. We had a lot of great games at Carver this week. The top 10, I don't know if y'all seen them yet, but it was a lot of great plays from the top 10 this week. And
No, I ain't seen it this week.
oh, it was man, it was hard to pick these plays, but we had a lot of good ones. So, but anyway, we opened up the game.
Joker said animal trolls out there. Boy, y'all hard, boy. Undefeated.
Listen. So we opened up the day with Outsiders at New Jack. Outsiders came in extremely stout, fierce defense. New Jack, you know, didn't look quite the same.
Right.
Outsiders won that game 12-0 because of a forfeit.
That's disappointing. Too. I really want to see that game play.
I
was
did
really
too.
curious about it.
But that game will make me say this: captains, please make sure that you're sending the right person out for the coin toss, and that they're aware of all their options and what they can and cannot do. Because a minute later, we probably would have had a game.
TYB could have won what game? They said TYB could have won that game. What game?
They only lost the Patriots by 1 point.
Oh,
That's probably the extra point.
Oh, okay.
We're probably talking about that. Then the next game we had was New Jack at Rare Form.
okay.
And this was a good game. And I can honestly say that from the players that showed up that week for both teams, Rare Form lost that game. Rare Form lost that game.
You're saying they lost the game, not that New Jack beat them.
Yeah, they were up
Interesting statement.
8-zip.
Rare Form was?
With a little bit of time left, and they could have just milked the clock and
And their whole offense is based on milking the clock.
won the game. But sometimes trick plays trick you. And they called a play, and the play was a run play. They took the normal quarterback out because I guess he's not a big fan of running, and put in someone to run the ball. And then I guess they decided that, well, they're going to surprise everybody because they're going to call a play that nobody is prepared for. So he calls a downfield play. He called a 9 route. Didn't account for the rush, so that they flushed him to the sideline. This was on first down. And he threw the ball, and it was intercepted.
Really?
Immediately.
Go to the house.
No, they did not go to the house, but because he threw it into triple, quadruple coverage, and so but they got back on defense and held them down until they switched from Miko to No, and No threw a bomb all the way down to like the 4 yard line, and then but the defense again held on first down, held on second down, held on third down. And then it was 4th and goal for the game. And Rare Form lined up 3 rushers. Unfortunately, they didn't quite rush. I think everybody expected somebody else to do the...
Keep going.
I think everybody else was expecting everybody else to do the job of what they all should have been doing. Gave No a whole bunch of time.
So nobody rushed.
I mean, they lined up and moved when the ball snapped, but they didn't actually go after him.
Right.
You know, and so that gave No a lot of time. And at the last minute, he found one of his players in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. And then they tied it up. And then the game ended up going into Rare Form got the ball back. But then they didn't go anywhere with it, so it went into overtime. And overtime, New Jack got the ball first, hit Miko, and then Rare Form went for the kick, and they just blocked it.
Oh, so they went for the kick instead of going for the play. Okay.
Well, they got a kicker.
Yeah, that's right.
But they just blocked
So
it.
who was the so No was the trigger man for New Jack?
Yeah, in the second, Miko was at first,
Okay.
but then at the end, it was No.
Okay,
And so No scored through to Miko.
gotcha.
But yeah, but then they squandered so many opportunities even before that.
So y'all the baby shower. It sounded like it, didn't it? Wow. I know Rare Form. I know they hurting all that one.
Yeah, because that's definitely a game that they should have won. And then they played hard. They played really hard. But sometimes, like I said, you can out trick yourself. Just run the ball, eat the clock. Run the ball, eat the clock. Run the ball, eat the clock.
Yeah.
And then on that, also on the drive, they kept going out of bounds, stopping the clock to give New Jack a chance. When you're in the lead, you're not supposed to go out of bounds at all in the second half. So, but it was a good game.
Okay.
Next game we had Joe World versus Outsiders.
Okay.
Outsiders had just beat you, Jay.
Yeah, they did. They coming in hot. Who'd you pick on? You remember who you picked on this one, Dwayne? Either one of y'all?
I think we all picked outsiders since Chris Lee.
Okay. It was a close game, a defensive battle. Several mistakes were made by one team. Joe World won this 8-6. That was a surprising game right there. Again, not to say that Joe World couldn't have won, but I think you guys probably thought Outsiders were going to take that one. And, you know, I think they looked at themselves and realized the mistakes that they made in that one. So then the next game we had Rare Form and YB. Think that they were still discombobbled from that other game. So the plan was to come in and show, you know, YB that they do belong.
Gates said, humble, young bull, humble. That's funny, Gates.
YB
You're right,
came-
though.
YB come out, you know, typical YB, nothing fancy, not showing off for nobody. Just go do what it is that they do. YB won this one 14-0.
It's against who now?
Rare Form.
Rare Form. 14-0. Okay.
Yeah, so unfortunately, that's basically killed Rare Form chances at the playoffs. So I think they are the first team to be eliminated this season.
You see anything out of Rare Form, Mont, improvements, what have you, from last time? Y'all played them before, right? It was your first time playing them?
Yeah, they straight. I like their quarterback. A lot of these teams, all right, man, like, even with, like, the outside and stuff, they one of my favorite teams. A lot of these teams just got the wrong leadership, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to try to be a top team when your leader ain't never been, you feel me? Like, and it, you know what I'm saying? Ain't really no knock on nobody,
No, I
but
understand
you
what
got
you're
some
saying.
people that, you know, all they ever played was C or B. So it's hard to try to lead somebody to A when you don't know really what it take. You know what I mean? So, but they straight though. You know what I'm saying? They're a solid team. You know, they all right. But bro was just talking too crazy last week. You feel me? But I mean, that's what they do now. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody really got to put no stain in. You know what I mean? Everything look better than what it really is because it's all on social media, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of folk crowned already, you know what I mean, before they really did anything against anybody. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, he was talking a little too crazy, but it is what it is.
14, Krispy Kreme. All right.
All right, so then next we had Georgia Smoke at Joe World. Y'all remember, who did they pick? I'm pretty sure y'all know who they picked.
It wasn't us.
So they picked Joe World.
I didn't pick y'all. I picked y'all. I picked y'all to go 1-1 last week. Y'all just went the opposite way.
Dwayne, who'd you pick?
Well, if you pick Smoke, I picked Joe World. I just know we picked opposite on that pick.
I know one of y'all did. I think you did.
Yeah, I know we picked opposite on that one.
Well, one of the teams came out with a point to prove, I think, because y'all picked the opposite.
Okay.
I ain't having to do.
I think there was this, as a matter of fact, this gave us the number one play of the highlights of the week.
Is that right?
I think it was this game where we had the kick return for a touchdown.
You know, shout out to KC, man.
Yeah, there we had a kick return for a touchdown.
Is that right?
And it was basically the length of the field, just about.
Wow.
And I thought they had him when he came over to the sideline.
Boy, Gates.
And then,
It was that boy Gator Bates.
you know, a good block set him free, and he took it back across and hit it to the house. So you guys will definitely see that in the top 10 plays this week. So final score in that game was 22-8, Georgia Smoke.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Anything on that game, man?
It was always a good game playing Joe World. You know, we gotta look out for Rook. Well, we just the first couple games we was just trying, a couple new schemes. They worked out how they worked out, but we trying to get the gears rolling.
You referring to the fact that y'all were playing without Gio, correct? When you say you working on schemes.
Dwayne,
Not necessarily.
and close that
They
door.
still would've
Thank
tried
you.
it if he wasn't there.
Okay.
But I mean, if he
He
was.
said can't hear him. Is his mic on?
Can you hear me now?
Dude said big block, buddy was thrown out of bounds. Gates threw him out of bounds? Oh boy.
It was on when you caught it.
It's on.
There you go.
Yeah, it's on.
Can you hear me now? There you go. Yeah, we just played them how they needed to be played. Good rush, and like you said, we did have Gio this time, so we had some offense, and their kick return was a big morale booster. So
Definitely. Then we had YB again at the Predators.
That's it. Free work off the team.
I remember this game. I think I had watched this game. I think this was the game. Well, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but didn't Man score all the touchdowns on Sunday, Mont?
He did that game, but Trey scored.
In the
Trey
pre-
and Man scored the first game.
Okay, yeah, and then Man scored both the touchdowns in this game. He was just running all over them. I think they had them kind of a little confused. YB took
Look
this.
at the passes, though. Look at the passes, the touchdown passes.
Yeah,
over
yeah,
the
yeah.
shoulder.
Oh, this the game that Man had that crazy toe tap catch falling out the sideline. Yeah. That's also in our top 10 plays of the
About to
week.
say.
I think Man probably got about 3 or 4 of the top 10 because he was killing it out there.
Who was throwing the rock?
Trey.
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 I mean, this one was like, it was literally, we thought it was going out of bounds.
Bro,
I
they
gotta go
respected
check
him
that
so
out.
bad last week. It was crazy.
Really?
Sitting in what he say? He said something about if Trey at quarterback, I say, but these boy, he'll just.
yeah, they
had
don't know
brand
about
new-
Trey.
I mean,
Trey
I guess-
really nice.
Oh, yeah, I remember
I mean, he
said
been
that.
like, what you got to realize though, man. These boys don't really look at production, man. They look at what they see on, you know what I'm saying, on social media. You know what I mean? They look at when people go play with everybody or go do this and that, and they make it look good. You know what I'm saying? Not really who they playing against, man. You know what I mean? We don't really be stunned though. You feel me, man? Like older team, bro, been doing it for a good little minute now, man. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't really stunned that, bro. We ain't had nobody give us a lifeline. You know what I mean? We ain't had nobody in their team to get into it, get to arguing, and we get to get their team, so they give us a lifeline. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
still rocking how we rock. You did.
There it is.
Been the same.
What was the score of that game?
That score was 14-6.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a hard time covering man on that game, and I don't think they had the right person attempting to cover man. I'm not going to say they would have covered him, but I think they had the wrong person in the beginning trying to cover him. So then we go over to the Shockwave Smoke game. I'm pretty sure I know that you and Dwayne picked Shockwave in that game. Shock, I'm pretty sure your team probably picked yourself in that game.
Naturally.
That was a good game, a close game. Smoke won that game 11-7. You guys like to elaborate on that game before we talk about? Okay, so let me just say this part at the very end. I think it's important that when controversial plays happen, that we have to remain calm and remember exactly what the rules are, so that we can effectively fix mistakes that happen. I'll say at the very end of that game, it should not have ended that way. Upon further review, the game should not have been ended because you cannot end the game on an offensive penalty when they score. So the fact that Shockwave scored on that, you guys technically were supposed to accept the penalty that was thrown, and then that would have gave Shockwave another play. By not accepting the penalty that was thrown or declining it, that means the touchdown stands and Shockwave would have won the game. So that play, the officiating at the end of that game was not what it should have been. Now, we can go into...
Officiating that game was horrible. Let's say what it is. The jump was horrible.
Who's the head of?
And not knowing the rules is a problem. You know, several things happened during that drive. Mm-hmm. But let me just clear up two big ones. Number one, we had a pitch that back to Amos, who was at the quarterback. So his flag was already off because they pulled the flag prior to the pitch. Dwayne pitched the ball back to him. Amos skirted through with the ball in his up here. The defender hit the ball. Mm-hmm. Side ref blew it dead.
They called him.
Hold on. I called a timeout. I used my timeout to say, hey, man, you can't end the... He touched the ball. He never touched the player. Mm-hmm. He said, side judge said, the ball is a part of the player. I said, no, it's not. He had the ball up here. That means the flag is down here. That means he made no attempt at the flag. You can't hit the ball up here. You know what I mean? So worst case scenario, it should have been an inadvertent whistle, and my timeout should have been given back to me. But he wanted to stand on it and tell me that you can do that. And they conferred and said, yeah. And I'm like, so you're saying you can just hit the ball up here? That's number one.
And so for clarification purposes, after the fact, when I found out that he's definitely correct. When the player's flag falls off, you have to touch them down, but you have to touch them down between the shoulders and the knees. If the ball is raised above his head and you hit the ball, he's not down because you shouldn't be going after the ball because there's no stripping.
Correct.
If the ball is over his head, you're not going for the flag. So he's absolutely right, that's the case. But if the ball was down, you still can't go for the ball, but you have to touch them between their shoulders and knees. Ankle is not a down.
Well, a lot of people probably don't know that, but
That's why I was clarifying, because it happened.
I got a flag thrown on me for knocking the ball out somebody's hand, but I was going for the flag, but he was just running with it down here. Mm-hmm. But how can I get a flag for that?
I mean, that's what the judgment of the referee of if he says you was attempting to go for the flag or if you were attempting to strip. Because if he's saying you attempting to strip, he's probably going to throw a flag for stripping. If not, it would have just been I can't say what he saw, but I do know if they throw a flag because you hit it out their hand, they're saying you're stripping, and you can't because you're not allowed to take the ball out their hands.
We lost in a championship game for a ball getting took out of somebody's hands.
So yeah,
I used my timeout to challenge. Well, I don't know what you did on yours. But I used my timeout to challenge it, and they said that you could as part of the player, which is wrong. So they should give my timeout back and engage. If they touched him out in the back, that was afterwards, but the player's already dead. And then the referee had the nerve to just say, and ran the clock.
And then and
I
here's
was like,
another situation.
What we doing, man?
This was a protestable call because it was a rules call. That wasn't a judgment. That was a rule. The rule is you have to touch them between the shoulders and the knees, and he touched them above that. So that could have been protested because that's a rule.
Well, I don't have a comment on that one, sir.
But at the end of the day, that particular play, I changed the outcome of who won and lost.
It changed it because we had to use that timeout, which I would have had at the end zone play, which we had to hurry a play. And then T.O. grabs the flag off the ground, attempts to put it on his waist. Mm-hmm. He has the ball, he has the flag, attempted to put it on his waist. The ball snapped, so the flag comes down because he never got it attached. Amos scores a touchdown.
I remember.
Referee, after the score, then throws a flag. They claim the side judge threw it. I never saw hers. But my argument, and I tried to challenge it from at the initial huddle. I said, hey man, how can you can't end the game like that? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I said, I want to challenge it. Dwayne said we challenging it. I walked over to the tent. I said, whose flag was on the ground? They said T.O.'s flag was on the ground. I said, here go my $50. I challenge it right now. T.O.'s flag was not on the ground. You know what I mean? And I kept asking the same question over again. Whose flag was on the ground? There was never a flag on the ground. They said it was on the ground. I said, before the snap? They said yes. I said, we want to protest the game right. That was not on the ground. Now, James, what's the rule?
On that,
upon further review.
Upon further review, that was a judgment call from the referee. Therefore, that cannot be protested. It can be challenged. And based on...
Wait. No, that's still incorrect. Because the rule states, the flag, if a flag is on the ground, that's a penalty. The flag was not on the ground. The flag was in the player's hands. If I can start, hold on, but what I'm saying is I can start a play with the flag in my hand. I don't even have to snap it. If I got the flag in my hand, it becomes two-hand touch at that point on that player.
That is correct. But what they said, again, what they said was that the flag was on the ground. And so that's the call. So that is a judgment of what the refs saw. So that isn't protestable.
Here's what
and it doesn't go to the video challenge. It goes to the regular challenge, which
When does it go to video?
with the 4 instances that's in the rule book, that's been in the rule book since we implemented it.
But here's what the head ref said. He gave a whole description. Dwayne came with it. He said, Dwayne, this is what he did, Dwayne. T.O. had the flag in his hand. He was doing like this, and at the snap, the flag came down. That's exactly what he said when we was at the tent. So that means the flag was not in his hand. I said, see what I'm saying? The flag was never on the ground. That's what he even said. He said he was trying to put it on. He never got it on, and we saw he never got it snapped. And Gio and them was over there yelling. Y'all said, yeah, Gio was over there yelling. Flag down the flag. He don't have his flag on, but he had the flag in his hands, so he did not violate. So now that becomes a rule violation, a rule question. Because the flag does not have to be snapped. It just has to be the player has to make an attempt
said that
to put the flag
second
on.
time because at first he said that ball was on the ground.
So now we're not really questioning.
Lexi, I mean
Now
not
change
the
the
ball,
story.
but the flag.
So now he changed the story.
Lexi also said she threw the flag, but as I said,
Not knowing the rules, they threw the flag.
yeah,
But that one of the biggest problems that going on, James. You know what I mean? And it can't be talked about because grown men get so much in their feelings. They don't want to ref your games. You know what I'm saying? They want to make the players the biggest problem when we paying these referees and half on don't know the rules. And when you try to tell them what the rule is, they getting so upset and then they feelings about stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was like I've been saying for years, bro. Like we pay them. They don't pay us, you know what I'm saying? We pay them, and sometimes they out there, you know what I'm saying, training. You know what I mean? And don't really know what's going on. They just saying something because somebody on the sideline said, oh, he holding, this and that. You know, like even in that situation, everybody know what a flag look like laying on the ground. So if you even look at the film, you'll see that, because I was actually out there. What was they looking at? To see that you can clearly see T.O. picked up his flag for one. That was the first thing. Whether he had it on or not, you know what I'm saying. But he clearly picked the flag up. You know what I'm saying. But you know the referees get away with everything. You feel me? They get away, and it's crazy that they don't know the rules. It's crazy that we having the game and we have to call Ed. That don't even make sense. They should come out there knowing exactly what's going on. But if you say something about it, or if you say something to them, again, they get in their feelings. They want to talk about the lead. They want to talk about this. They want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? It's disrespectful to come out there and not know the rules. If we speaking on first thing, respect, you feel me? Like, did what they get paid to do. You did. So that's crazy. All that need to be, you know what I'm saying, addressed, not just, you know, on the players or, oh, they get fined, this and that. No, like, I said this to Billy, the guy in National, like, I don't know, but I think they should have like training throughout the year with the referees when it comes to the rules, play where they should be on the field, like you know what I'm saying, all that, man. Because
Like recertified or something like that.
I'm not sure. That would I don't know. I really couldn't answer that.
then they out there so long, you know what I'm saying, they be ready to go. You know, you talking about the last 2 games of the day, you know what I mean? Man, I ain't. Yeah, did what happened. You know, man, let's get the game over with. So, that shit crazy, man.
Well, I mean, y'all points are all valid, and definitely that wasn't taken without a grain of salt. Because I definitely had a conversation with Ed about a lot of the stuff that happened on Sunday, and expressed my concerns about it, as well as relayed the players' concerns about it as well. But we, unfortunately, right now Ed is recovering from surgery, so he can't be with us. But I did reach out to him to relay the issues that you guys had, and once the film dropped, we were able to send some of the stuff to him so that he could review and correct it with some of the refs.
Yeah, man. Especially in the game with a touchdown. I mean, he just said ball game over with. And walked off. He didn't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? So we never even got to the point of, hey man, it was a touchdown. He just walked off.
Mm-hmm. and I can say
we had to go over there to the thing to have a conversation.
The very first conversation that I had with Ed about anything was about refs potentially getting in their feelings and walking away from players at the end of a game. And when they're wrong, even that makes it even worse when they're wrong. So, but I also understand, and you don't do this, Angelo, so I ain't using it, but oftentimes that players are yelling at the refs constantly. And so sometimes it could be hard to differentiate what the yelling is. Is it the regular yelling that they're doing, or is it legitimate, valid? So I
that
always
ain't
try.
hard, bro. You know what you sign up for when you become a referee. They do that in the NFL,
That's
NBA.
what I'm saying, Mark. I'm not saying it's hard for them to make the calls. I'm saying sometimes it can be hard to differentiate which yelling. Because some yelling is just yelling out of frustration, but sometimes there's valid arguments. And I try to encourage the teams when it's a straight valid argument, or you really want something different done, versus just saying, oh, that was a bad call, ref. Meaning, oh, no, that was really the wrong call, ref. The way you can approach a ref can kind of sort of dictate how they understand you coming at them. Because like, that ain't holding, that's a bad call. That's part of the ebbs and flow of the game, and it's going to happen, versus, no, that's really you're applying the wrong rule there. Let's talk about that. Now, again, you did do that. They just didn't know they didn't know the particular rule that they came, which is still unacceptable. So, and again, I can't speak for the refs. I'm just giving some analysis of how I try to get people to handle situations when it's extremely wrong, so that we can at least attempt to get them to ref. And sometimes I will go out there and talk to the refs on the side. I try not to go out there too much to interfere with the game if it's not something that is a major rule, because I don't want people thinking I'm coming out there to constantly change the results of what go on that aren't valid.
Who is Big Stepper?
That is...
He got to be on smoke, right?
Wait a minute.
I don't know who that is. I don't even be on here, really.
No,
okay.
From outsiders.
Anyway, that's what happened. Yeah.
So that final score again, 11-7. And then the next game was Predators versus Georgia Elite, which was a good game. Predators didn't have key figures. Georgia Elite is rebuilding with a lot of new players. And that was a tight game. And Georgia Elite's kicker is not with them this season. So, again, those kickers matter. And Georgia Elite I'm not sure if they went for the tie or the win, but either way, they didn't make it. And Predators run that game 7-6. Really good game too. I think was that the game they took the lead with the Pixie? No, that wasn't that game. So then the next game we had was 404 and Shockwave. Coming into that one, I'm sure you and Dwayne picked Shockwave. I'm pretty sure Sydney picked 404.
Everybody else picked 404.
Everybody else picked 404. Because Sydney said, you guys are old and you can't compete. Dwayne's legs are short. He's gonna run out of gas. All of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. All that was said.
Tight game there.
Billy said it was an overtime. The Predators game.
Okay, so y'all won in overtime. Y'all went for the extra point in overtime, and then they didn't have. Yeah, so that's what happened. Okay, but I knew it was a tight game. Shockwave over 404 7-zip. What'd you see in that game, Lo, that was different than what you would normally see out of 404?
I mean, nothing really. I mean, it was a good game. 4-4. They're known for the deep ball, and if you give that deep ball early, it gets them kind of hype. Mm-hmm. They had a big play early on. They got the ball to the 1 yard line. Somebody, who was that, Dwayne? Somebody made a great. Was it Charles? Somebody stopped to grab the flag right to 1.
Man. that won the game.
Yeah, that wasn't the game. Yeah, it was a big stop at the 1 yard line, and we held them 4 plays out the end zone, and then we scored, and shoot, that was it. Mm-hmm. They had a couple chances. They got an interception, drove it down.
QB?
Huh?
They had a QB?
Yeah, they were loaded. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were loaded. But we held them out again on the other side. At the goal line, we got the ball back, made a couple first downs, got the game. That's a ball game. It's a good game though.
And then the final game of the day.
Billy said he made his kick to win.
Make
sure you acknowledge Billy's kick to win the game.
The game winning.
Got you, Billy.
And then the last game of the day, we had Georgia Elite versus 404. I think everybody picked 404 in that game. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody picked Georgia Elite. But it was a good defensive battle most of the game.
It was.
Both teams end up scoring, so it was 6-6. And then 404 had the ball last, driving down, and then Dre threw a touchdown to win the game. But he threw it to Georgia Elite on a pick 6. And it was a walk. Yeah, so Georgia Elite won that game 12-7. That was definitely a surprise. Big morale boost for Georgia Elite, but I think 404 definitely believed they left something out there for that game. It was an out route that.
I don't know. I don't remember 404 going 0-2 in a
I don't think that's ever happened since they've been in the league. I think this is the first time ever, Dwayne had the pick 6 for Georgia Elite. It's also one of the top 10 plays of the week. Most of the top 10 plays of the week was either picks, pick 6s, or returns, because there was a lot of them last week. But
Montreal did a great job playing safety for Georgia Elite too. He made a couple of nice picks. I was pretty impressed with it. He made one in the back of the end zone. I mean, he went side to side on that. It was a great pick.
That was one of the things that he wanted to be able to have a chance to do, and then without Walt. He's definitely having to have.
Yeah, he did that. That pick, he had a couple picks. That one that back of the end zone was a big play.
Wide receiver number 17, Tough. We run James Lee. Y'all gonna see. Big Stepper gonna step on everybody Sunday.
Okay, Big Stepper.
Big Zoo, R.I.P. Steve Irwin. Who was that? Anyway.
That's a sit. I think there's another Sydney shot.
Oh yeah. Montel made the play against Gas that won them that game.
Yeah.
So that leaves us with the current league standings. Where they at? Here we go. So in the comp division, we have DOA sitting at 6-0, number 1 seed. LOZ are tied for second, but they have the advantage over United. So they're both 5-1. In fourth place is the Patriots at 4-2.
Get Brady.
I ain't said that in a while. In fifth place with a 1-2-3-way tie at 3-3, you have Georgia Raiders 5, PNF 6, and Fly By Night on the outside looking in at 7. Then you have Goon Squad and Zoo Atlanta tied for 8th and 9th at 2 and 4. And then 10th and 11th with TYB coming in 10th and Big Swamp at 11 at 0 and 6. And them point differentials, sometimes I'm like, wow. And again, DJ's absence has really hurt them because they're sitting at a negative 82 point differential.
Wow.
So we
I think
definitely
DOA gonna win that easily though.
Think so?
I ain't really nothing over there like that.
you DOA. Okay. Okay. I think it'll definitely come from the top 3 teams. Not sure which one, but I definitely think it'll be the top 3. And then over in the pro division, sitting all alone in first place is YB4L at 5-1.
Shout out to YB. We coming for that spot though.
Second place we have New Jack at 3-1. Third place we have Shockwave at 4-2. We have a 4-way tie for fourth place in order of Outsiders 4, Smoke 5, Joe World 6, and Predators come to cusp on the outside at 7, but they're all 3-3. Georgia Elite and 4-4 are tied for 8th, but 8th and 9th respectively with Georgia Elite 8, 4-4, 9, and Rare Form and the last spot in 10th at 1 and 5 at probably have unofficially been eliminated from the playoffs.
Man, some veteran teams sitting top, huh? Ain't that something?
them teams that Sydney like to say old and done with,
Ain't that something?
but they the top 2 spots.
Ain't that something?
This week, let me pull up my thing so I can record this week. I'll just go back and get the standings from the videos, and I'll have everything next week since. So this
I'm
week
gonna go sign this shit. Wait.
Okay. Who's 25? Okay, so this week we have our crossover divisional week games, the pro versus the comp. Some of the teams are gonna get what they've been asking for. Here we go. That's not it.
Wait, who was Zoo Atlanta quarterback? Did you say Sydney?
He's one of the 3.
Oh, they got 3 of them.
Yeah.
And just go. Just go.
Is it on the desktop? Okay. Angelo and Dwayne and Billy.
Mont, you know we coming for that top spot, right? So you know we coming for that top spot, right?
Bro, that seed and shit, it is what it is, bro. You just want to make it to the playoff and let it be what it be.
I know that, right?
As long as our players show up, bro, we ain't worrying about nothing to nobody, bro. We still behind the 8 ball. Everybody done got a chance to play some football but us, bro. Like,
I feel you.
this our first time really, really playing, you feel me? From every team out there done got a chance to play some football. It's some type of, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we the only one that was behind the 8 ball and older, you feel me? So, and we don't practice, so it is what it is, man, you know what I mean? Like I say, as long as everybody show up, bro, I don't see nobody talking about nothing for real, for real.
Yeah, supposed to be. But we gonna kick y'all ass.
I feel you.
Nah, that how it supposed to be though.
Okay. Let me see.
My boy Lee ain't playing this year.
Bro, I don't know who gonna play when they gonna play, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We just show up on Sunday and just
And ball out.
do whatever it be. You know what I mean? Folk don't even really talk in the group chat. So I don't know, bro. When I get there on Sunday, whoever be there, that's when I know who gonna play.
Is Welch still playing, or is he just doing coaching full time?
You ain't. I'm telling you, I don't know. I'm telling you, you think I'm that serious, bro? I don't know. It just show up on Sunday and I see who gonna be there.
They play with what
I don't know who gonna play, who playing, who not playing,
Them be the best games though.
who going to another team. I don't know nothing, bro. I just show up and then whoever be there, I be like, okay, well, then who we got today?
Okay, so this week we're starting off at Carver. We got Georgia Elite facing P&F. We got Vegas has GE by 8. Angelo, who do you have?
I'm going GE.
Dwayne, who do you have? P&F.
PNF.
Billy, who do you have?
He said Zoo might as well go play in the women's league.
They might not even
Y'all
went over
fishy,
there.
boy. Somebody said, YB, you'll hear about it. Y'all already read these messages? He said, YB, y'all hear about a team called United this Sunday. Stay tuned.
Ooh,
All right, then.
whoa. I ain't see that one.
They'll say rabies shots on the house. Zoo.
Brady
Chris
on the
Cook
fly.
chimed in. Well, Chris don't ever chime in, but he ain't like that comment. He said, bring your money, buddy.
Look, Big Stepper said Brady
You know
on
what
the
I'm
fly,
saying,
make
these-
it look like a senior citizen flag event.
These folks just get to talk with no stain on them, though, bro. That was crazy, though. You feel me? Like, how you just, you know what I mean? These folks just get to talk. Like, just say anything. You feel me? Like, yeah, but I feel you, though, man. You supposed to feel that way, so ain't no pressure.
Billy says GE, okay. Next game we got. Where'd it go? Okay, we got paid in full at TYB. Vegas got paid in full by 6.
You already know my pick.
P&F.
Yeah, them TYB boy, they can't even snap the ball right. Quarterback running every play.
Really?
Dwayne. You got TYB or P&F? Billy?
Go to the next game. He'll put it on.
Okay, the next game is Raiders at Georgia Elite.
He got PNF. Billy does.
Vegas got Georgia Elite by 4.
You hear me?
You got
Billy got
PNF.
PNF.
Okay.
Raiders and who?
Georgia Elite. Dwayne.
I got Georgia Elite. They looked good last week, man. Montel came back.
Low.
Yeah, I got G again.
Billy. I'm just gonna have GE.
I like Georgia Elite. They just running the wrong scheme.
Yeah, tell me I'll be out there in a minute. You can come sit down.
The next game is TYB at Shockwave, and Vegas got TYB by 1. They said that TYB takes offense to you, Angelo, so they're gonna show you.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you and Dwayne are both gonna take Shockwave.
It's a stretch, man. It's a stretch, but we'll go ahead and pick Shockwave.
Billy's gonna take Shockwave too, I'm sure. The next game we got Joe World versus Raiders.
Joe World.
Vegas got Raiders by 2.
Joe.
Yeah, I'm Joe World. I think the first Raiders game might be Raiders G might be a really good game if Raiders come out to play.
Okay. Next game we got Shockwave at Zoo Atlanta. Vegas has Shockwave by 22.
The wave. The wave.
I got a bit.
You said that game was at McNair, James. I thought you were doing Carver first or McNair? I think that game's
I'm
at
doing
McNair.
McNair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all these games are at McNair. Mm-hmm. Well,
Big step to
I
say
ain't-
TYB by
yeah, y'all at
7.
McNair though.
Don't y'all got a bit or something on that game?
Yeah, I was hoping Sidney came in here to, you know what I mean? But we got him on camera lab. We say he going to bet uniforms on the game. So, you know.
I remember that.
First week, you bet me $100. I tried to bet you push-up.
He was talking about, yeah, last week. I was like, man, I don't even bet. But put the uniforms on it since you want to be a sponsor.
He switched it to uniforms.
Well, I'll take that bet.
So everybody taking Shockwave.
Push-ups. He said, I don't bet money.
Yeah, he tried to bet his players push up.
The Zoo going to forfeit. Nah, I hope they don't do that.
The next game we got is LOZ at Joe World. And we got Vegas got LOZ by 1.
I'm going Joe World. I don't think Dom can handle Rook.
Joe World.
Any upsets?
I don't see it.
Okay.
Get a chance to see what LOZ is, though. You know what I mean? You know, they 5-1 right now?
They
Get
5-1.
to see how, you know, what they got going on.
And they got home field advantage. They
How that game looking for you, John?
They playing at McNair. Next game we got Zoo at Georgia Smoke. Vegas got smoked by 18.
Double it.
He said double it.
No upsets there. Anybody going against the grain?
Negative.
Okay, somebody gonna had to take a chance that somebody.
Who was that game?
That was Zoo and Smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So,
City on the side.
The next game,
whichever quarterback show up for smoke, though.
The next game is LOZ at.
Big Stepper
No,
said
no,
he
no,
got Zoo
sorry.
by 3 over smoke. Yeah, they.
The next game is Georgia Smoke at LOZ. Think this will be Avery's first time being able to play against them. Vegas got LOZ by 3. Huh? What happened? What was it?
I ain't say that.
Keep going.
Oh man.
I'm going Big Smoke.
I got smoke.
Any upsets there?
Not there either.
Cause I'm gonna be on Dom ass. Pause.
Okay.
Say pause.
All right, so that's it for McNair. We'll go over to Carver. All right, so we open up today with Swamp Bucks hosting 404. Vegas has 404 by 20.
What's the game?
Swamp Bucks and 404.
Oh, post Swamp Bucks. They had such promise.
They did. Next game we got Fly By Night at 404. Vegas got Fly By Night by 1.
Now, Fly By Night gonna come out with confidence. I don't think it's gonna help them, but they're gonna come out with confidence, though. Yeah, for sure.
404.
Billy got 404.
Next we have Swamp Bucks. I'm sorry, it's just not big this season. They just Swamp Bucks at Rare Form. They got Vegas has Rare Form by 8.
Sap said fly right by the crib, right to the crib.
I got rare form. By 8 sound about right.
No one's picking any upsets this week.
He ain't got them type of teams over there, James. You trying to make them something, but he ain't got them type of teams or matchups going on.
I mean, I think last season though we had some upset picks.
I mean, DOA, I think DOA straight over there. LOZ okay. But he ain't really got no steppers over there that can really,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
So we got. What was we at?
Then you got a lot of lopsided games and matchups like that don't really equal up too though. So like a DOA in a 4-4 type game, then you know what I'm saying. You talking about,
More of a matchup.
but you talking about a 4-4 versus Swamp Bucks with playing musical chairs at quarterback. Like,
So the next game we got Rare Form at Fly By Night. Vegas got Rare Form by 2.
Rare form.
That could be a decent game.
yeah,
That could be a decent game.
yeah, that could.
But they 3-3. Fly By Night was 3-3, wasn't it? I got rare form though.
But Rare Form ain't just too far gone from them teams over there like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they won it last year, so they had to move up, but they ain't just.
They ain't no real.
All right.
Not according to them, though.
You know,
They popped it hard now.
I've been watching their games, even though they're 1-5.
They've been competitive
They've
games.
been in every game, and at least 3 of those games they lost because of their mistakes that cost them the game, versus being beat down.
Everybody do that.
The next game we got. Okay, here we go. We got DOA at Outsiders.
Yeah, see, that's a good
Vegas
game.
got DOA by a half a point.
DOA playing with an undefeated season, huh?
DOA said they're going undefeated this season.
So Outsiders in the pro division, right?
Uh-huh. Here you go. Here goes your chance, Dwayne. Go against the grain. Go against Dwayne. Who we got?
You going against it?
I'm taking Outsiders.
That ain't going against it.
I mean, my bad.
You got DOA?
No.
All right.
You gonna match him so he can't gain?
Nah, I'm going Outsiders. Billy got Outsiders.
Yeah, I like both of them teams, but
Sap say he got DOA. Who you-
Outsiders like one of my new favorite teams. I think. Yeah. I think they missing a couple things, you know what I mean? And it kind of sucks that we don't really have a lot of local tournaments no more. Cause like that one thing that helped us like traveling, so they ain't really traveling that much. But they really got a good solid team. You know, they need to tweak a couple things, but I like DOA too though. I like the move they made with combining with some of the outcasts. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause they've been having a straight little squad all along. They just really been missing a quarterback. So,
Quarterback, and I would say something I've told a few of the other teams they're missing is coaching.
Well, a lot of teams got coaching. They just got the wrong coach. I mean, it's hard.
No, I mean coaching. I don't know.
I mean, it's hard for a coach to, like I said earlier, to try to take you somewhere that he ain't never really been. You know what I'm saying? So.
No, I don't mean a captain coach. I'm talking about like a coach.
Yeah.
Like
Say same thing.
Money and
Same answer.
Angelo and Smooth and
They
Reggie.
got that though.
Who?
Them teams got that.
No,
I
they
just
be
said-
having player coaches. They don't have coaches on the sideline.
Ain't nothing wrong with a player coach. We got a player coach.
Yeah, but you got a walk around coach too. And I think that makes a difference in
I
some
just a big player
crucial
like that walking
situation.
around, man.
Because,
He just sitting back chilling, man. You feel me? Enjoying.
But what I'm
enjoying.
saying, what I see a lot of is the player coaches be so in tune with the game, they don't call a timeout when they need to, or they don't make the proper adjustment because they focused on the position they're supposed to be playing. So that's what I mean by somebody on the side to watch over that type of stuff.
Game management.
Game management, yes. So where were we at? Where were we at? Okay. So the next game we got DOA hosting Predators. And yes, Arnold will be there.
I see DOA going 0-2 Sunday.
Again, another potentially competitive game though.
Are you gonna go and pick DOA then?
No, I'm gonna go with Predators. But I think that could be a
Dwayne?
that'd be a good game.
Bill. I think Billy should be there this week. Yeah, Billy gonna be there this week.
What you think, Mark?
That's what I'm over here thinking. That's a good one. I think the Predators got maybe the better rush though. They could help them, man. Predators a solid team, man, but it just seems like they one of them teams that get stuck too. You know what I'm saying? Like they peaked at a certain peak, and it's like they just been there, even with Arnold. You know what I mean? So it really hard to really decide and who gonna be there. But shit. Since you're looking for an upset, I'm gonna be the bad guy and go DOA. But the Predators probably gonna win, but I'm gonna be the bad guy and go DOA.
All right, I like it.
Next game we have is Outsiders at Goon Squad. Vegas got Outsiders by 6. Will anybody take Goon Squad?
Outsiders.
Yeah, I gotta go Outsiders.
I don't even know who on Goon Squad.
PD quarterback.
One PD quarterback. He won MVP
Outside.
last. PD won MVP last week, and they got one of Predators' former players playing with them. But everybody taking Outsiders, okay.
They got 10 of them over there too, don't they? Goon Squad.
They got Tim and they got Corey. Next game is one of our original grudge matches. We got Brady at Billy. Brady coming in hot off of that 2-0 game. You know, Brady felt we slighted him because he didn't play in the pro. So this is his chance to shine.
Predators.
Predators. So who will it be?
I'm going Predators.
Yeah, Predators.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, anybody could really show up on any given Sunday and win.
TYB.
We got YB 4L hosting Goon Squad.
Wabi.
YB.
What Vegas got?
Wiggins got Goon Squad by 2.
I'm going YB. Bye.
Vegas is James, man. he needs some entertainment, man. So he just-
YB by
man,
20.
I got YB, man. 1-0.
1-0.
All right. Then we got United at Patriots.
Hey, Brady, this week you gotta go 0-2, man. My bad.
You taking United?
I got United.
Dwayne? Billy?
United playing for seeding too.
And United was plus by
Billy
7.
got the
in that.
Patriots.
Ooh, Billy going for the upset. Okay.
Yeah, United going 0-2 Sunday.
And then the next game you got United hosting YB.
Then somebody from United say something earlier or something
Indeed,
like that.
indeed.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, Cook say so. You know?
Vegas got United by 4.
SEC made say United don't
wait a minute,
stand
hold
a-
on, I'm just getting a
say
text.
YB
Hold
don't
on.
stand a chance against
Hold on.
United.
Who said that?
Wait a minute.
Whoever SEC made is,
Vegas is
what his
monitoring the chat.
he don't have a name.
And
He
they
got a
said
nickname
because
with it.
of
I don't know
Chris-
what it is.
Hey, what's your real name,
Comments.
my boy?
YB is by 9.
I want to know who you is, man.
Right. He just want to shake your hand for the game.
Who is that? Let me see. What's the name?
Giant, yeah, I know you probably know.
Oh, SEC made?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who that one is. I haven't figured that one out yet. I know who
Hey,
Big Steph-
pronounce yourself, man. Let her know who you is, man.
Everybody got YB in that game?
Yeah.
Yes, sirski.
And then, that's the last game of the day.
All right.
So, okay, let me save this so I can have everything.
Should be some interesting, couple interesting cross rival matchups, I think. And last year, Outsiders took the bragging rights of going.
They did.
Undefeated
Last year,
against the pro.
Outsiders did not lose to a pro team. Who's going to be that team this year? Is it going to be United? Is it going to be Patriots? Going to be Goon Squad? DOA? If you had to pick one of those 4 teams, though, Lo, who would you pick?
Based on the matchups, DOA.
Okay. Dwayne? Between DOA, Goon Squad, Patriots, and United winning, who would you pick? No, not both. Just one of the games. Just one. Okay.
Interested to see what LOZ has. That's facts. And I'm gonna tell you something now. If the Predators if they sleep on the Brady now, Brady play a slow, ugly game. And as long as he don't do no Gracias por
He does have some new talent over there that's kind of showing out a little bit. LOZ plays Joe World and George Smoke.
Jay said, who did United beat last season in pro?
Didn't they beat y'all?
Who?
United.
We got like Outsiders.
Okay. I don't know who they beat last season. I don't remember. Okay. Then where we got the
Hey, on here, who y'all beat last year in pro United?
He still ain't said who he is.
No. He just said, please drink some Red Bulls, YB. That's all he said.
Oh, he just want to talk. I got you. He ain't really. He just wants some airtime right now.
United did?
I mean, I could have. Let me see. Let me see if I can
I can't call
pull
that.
that up real quick.
I didn't witness it.
Fall 2024. Who did they beat? Schedule.
Billy said they beat them, the Predators.
Oh, they beat Predators. Okay. I thought that they beat a cross division game. I just wasn't sure who it was.
They definitely beat us this season. I just don't think it was last year. I don't think we played them.
Really?
I think they changed it.
I don't recall that.
Now, remember they beat us that one time on the last play with Justin?
No, they beat y'all last season 6-2. September 22nd at 12:45 at Carver. That's why I thought it was y'all.
That was the first 2 weeks of
They
the
was
season.
excited about that game.
Yeah, I wasn't there the first 2 weeks of the season. That's why I said I don't recall.
Yeah, Orlando was like, yep, it was Shockwave.
Okay, congratulations.
No. So, yeah, okay. Cross division. So, remember next week, April the 6th will be the last week of the regular season games, and then the playoffs will be April the 13th. And then the awards party will be April the 26th. So just keep your calendars marked for that date, April 6th, 26th. All the details for that should probably be out.
April 26th is what?
The awards
awards
ceremony.
Okay.
That Saturday. So.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Mont, you got anything, bro? Anything to share, express? You just come on here and get some good nuggets, man. You know what I mean? Got a little trash talk here. What you got for us?
Nah, ain't really been no trash talk like that, really. Everybody been quiet, and everybody who really been talking just talking, man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even really be on it like that, like I used to be, cause people just talking. You feel me? They ain't really did, man. They ain't really did it against nobody. You feel me? They doing the same thing they been doing. Everybody got to group up. You did so. We just getting back in the groove, man. That's all I can say, man. we just getting back in the groove all the way. We don't practice, we on that, you know. And some new talent to the league. Once the rest of our talent come out, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, keep getting your rocks all right now.
Shout out to one of our supporting leagues out of North Carolina, Baller's Choice, Women's Flag Football League. They tune into our podcast quite a bit and comment. So shout them out. They kick off their 8 women's spring season this Sunday out in Raleigh. So I just want to recognize and shout out them and wish them a good opening week season. Yeah, so and also we got for people looking for something to do during the weeknights, we got our kickball league launching on April the 10th. That'll be at Carver High School. So if you guys want to do something just more fun and, you know, energetic to keep your carbs and calories burning, come on out there and sign up. You can bring a team or you can sign up as a free agent. Remember, Brawl for It All is July 25th through the 27th. The flyers are out for that. And we are possibly looking at another smaller tournament prior to that here in Atlanta for, you know, in between the break, between the seasons. So we'll test the waters on that. We'll get more feedback from some of the other coaches we haven't reached out to yet on that. Floyd and not right. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's what we got this week.
Real quick, man, just, you know, last week a whole lot of stuff being said. I saw stuff on the page, man. You know, we got a lot of great players in this current league and whatnot, man. But, you know, some of these guys don't know a lot of flag football history. So they don't know the stuff that they see currently. You know what I mean? But there's some guys, man, who some of them still playing, some of them play here and there, you know what I mean? But they don't know that it's been some real historical, you know, they were talking about some of them quarterbacks, man. You know, but I'm gonna tell you something. You got a guy right now that's ref sometimes, I think he's playing now, a dude like Hurd. Hurd probably one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever touched a flag football field. You know what I mean? And folks don't know because, you know, you wasn't here, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. This dude was, you talking about different. You know, as great as I feel like Amos is, Hurd was that before. Hurd was, you know what I mean, with a better arm. You know what I mean? You know, Hurd was the master of rolling one way and throwing that ball to the other side of the field on a dime. You know what I mean? He got dude like Frano. You know, when I first saw Frano step on the field, man, I've never seen nothing like it. Nothing. You couldn't out throw this guy. You know what I mean? You had to throw the ball out of bounds to out-throw Frano. You know, it's just, y'all just, you know.
But that's what I'm saying. The people you naming, like, they really did it. You feel me? They really did it against somebody, too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys just, like, they didn't have to go play with this person, go do this, go do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they showed up. They ain't have to get on the social media. They ain't have to talk. They game really showed. And when they game showed, it was against somebody. You know what I mean? Like, not just against anybody, you know what I mean? It was really against somebody who really was somebody, you feel me? So,
yeah,
like,
I think a lot of these teams now just be playing pickup and just let's just put a team out there.
Was that a shot?
No, it ain't no shot. It ain't no shot. It's just a lot of folks just be playing like backyard football, and then they
Any teams come to mind when you say that?
No, it ain't no shot. But they just be coming out there and just be going out there doing anything and not knowing. Because, like, I ain't know a lot of this stuff about Amos. And I've been playing a long time, and I know he was playing before me, but every time I play him, I know what it's going to be. So for you to say that about him, I can believe everything you said, because Amos is like one of the ones.
What I've noticed working with kids a lot, because that's what I do for a living, and some of these people in the league are kids to me because of my age. If they didn't see it, it didn't happen. That's the mentality a lot of them got. If they didn't see it, it didn't happen, and it's not possible. So And, you know, we know that that's not true. But that's where a lot of this talk come from. That they didn't see it. They looking at you now at 45 and 50 and saying there was no way possible you could have did any of that at 25 and 28 at their age because they believe that they're the best thing.
But that cool though. But you still gotta look at them like, what have they really done? That's what I'm saying.
Oh no,
what I
you
mean?
right.
Like,
Before you came in, before we even started, I told Angela, I said, you know, it's funny that we the past couple of seasons we just hear about what the old people can't do, but the two most veteran teams are the top two teams in the league right now.
But not even really that, you know what I'm saying? Because we've been playing so long, you know, seedings, you know, you just really want to get in the playoffs. You feel me? Then you talking about,
we was like 9 last week.
you talking about teams
Yeah,
that's
5.
been playing for so long that the teams that we might lose to, how long we been beating them? You feel me? Like, eventually, you feel me? You should get a win, or, you know what I mean? We still got older players or whatever, or, you know what I mean? And that ain't even no excuse, but just what I'm saying, like, what are they doing, bro? Like, these players you talking about, they can look at a player and be like, well, I don't think he was this and that, and I'm this and that. Okay, you could be this and that, but what are you really doing? You got 20 championships. Who did you beat in them 20 championships? You feel me? It's somebody out there with 20 and it's somebody out there with 5, and all 5 of them were against some real down steppers when you were just playing against, you know what I mean? But it looked, you know what I'm saying? I can post like it looked like this and that, whoop the whoop, blase, blase, and I'm this big man, and it's like, bro, nah, you ain't. Like, I see some nigga talking, I be like, bro, like, I can line Lee up against some of y'all and, like, come on, bro. It's not even a comparison on who he done had to check. Not only check, turned around and had to go against who checking him. You feel me? Like, on the for real, you feel me? Like, really putting a team on your back. You dig? And really being teams that really was somebody. National champs, or, you know what I'm saying, this and that. So, like I say, man, a lot of these guys just talk, man. You know what I mean? I just want to put your resume out there, man. That's all I say. Put your resume out there, whoever you is. Just put it out there for real. Put it out there. And we'll see who you really beat, who you were playing, who you was playing against, and who you was playing with. You know what I mean? And we'll let that do the talking, man. You know what I mean? So really get caught up in all that other, you know what I mean, blase, whether they believe you with this and that, they don't really matter. They just need to show that they did and show it against somebody, you feel me? Because what I've been seeing, man, come on, man.
True story. So, you know, I just had to put it out there, man. You know, it's...
Even when Buddy, you know what I'm saying, tried to say about Trey, you feel me? Hey, man, your best that you love, man, tell them to put their resume up there, whoever that may be, and show them who they beat. Show them what their record is against this and that team, man. When they play against a good team, do they win? I don't care if they run through this and that. When you play against a good team that's a top dog, do you win, bro? That's what I'm talking about, you feel me? Like, I don't care if you ran through 10 of them teams, all right? Now, when it was time to play the top dog, what you do? You lost. Not one time, but twice. Or 3 times, however many times it may be, you feel me? So, that's what I'm saying. When Buddy was talking that, I'm like, man, come on, man. Like, Trey resume speak for itself. The only thing Trey ain't did in this game was win the national championship, you feel me? And honestly, he just started going to nationals maybe 5 years ago, you did, you feel me? So, like, outside of that, man, you know what I mean? He done beat the best of the best. You feel me? Like, teams that was at the top of the A, winning national championship year after year after year. You feel me? Knock them off. Double dipping. Teams that others can't even beat. You feel me? Like, when they play them. So, niggas just be talking crazy, bro. But just start coming correct, man. So, like I say, they ain't got to know who with this or who with that, or you know what I mean. But when you say put your resume on the table, that's all I want the nigga to do. Just put your resume on the table. And a lot of folk that you gonna put your resume up, you gonna see they ain't have to shortcut. They ain't have to run nowhere else to get no other help. They ain't have to do this. They ain't have to do that. You know what I mean? They stayed firm and they stayed on who they were. You feel me? Like I say, we ain't get no lifeline. And we don't need one, you feel me? Because that ain't how we built. That ain't how we came in the game, you feel me? We came in how we came in, and we going to go out how we want to go out. You did. So, but nigga just talking, man. Put respect on it when you talk about the YB, you know what I mean, or the other teams, and, you know what I mean, they really been around doing their thing, because a lot of these teams, it ain't about no toughness, you know what I mean? They just didn't stand a chance, you feel me, with playing the game. Like, even when Buddy was, you know what I mean, is Amos better than Rocky? I'm like, bro, come on, bro. Like, Rocky my dog, and Rocky is good, but we talking about two different levels of, you know what I mean, what a player had done, you know what I mean? Maybe 7-man or something, I don't know, you know what I mean? I wasn't no 7-man guy, I only played 8-man, you feel me? But, and there's no, you know what I'm saying, like, there's no hate in there. I understand folk like to put hate with the truth, you know what I mean? And I'm cool with it, you know what I mean? So I can be the hater, but certain stuff shouldn't even be asked about, bro. And that type of stuff let me know that guys just running around listening to people that they listening to ain't really looking at what's going on or even knowing what's going on. They just running back saying something they done heard, you feel me? Because that's not even a question to even ask. Bro ain't even really play quarterback like that.
And that's what I was speaking on last week. Who played that position? Different ball game, man.
Yeah, Trey been there, dude. He like that.
Tomas said, "Oh, everybody quiet now. March preaching." He said, "It's quiet in here. Where's Zoo at?"
Yeah, man.
Bro still ain't said who he was, though?
Nah, he didn't.
From United?
He didn't. He ain't speak on it. Hey, man. Should be fun this week. You got anything else, brother?
No, big smoke coming for the #1 spot.
Where y'all currently at, Smoke?
We tied at 5 with like 4 other people. We were 9 last week.
Okay.
After this week, we gonna be up there somewhere. One of them spots.
Smoke. Okay, yeah, you
What
5.
it's gonna be, but it's gonna be one
Man,
or
y'all
two.
a solid team, though, bro. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody... what you saying, I don't think nobody gonna argue with you. I mean, y'all a solid team, bro.
Have y'all played outsiders?
Nah.
Do y'all play them this season?
It's all about winning that top 6. That's the only thing that matters.
Oh, that's how I make playoff 6.
Yeah, he said your top 6 going. So
Because
everything else is irrelevant.
that would be your Achilles heel if you tie with outsiders and don't play them. If you got to outscore a lot of people because they got y'all by 21 points in the tiebreaker.
We plan on outscoring the rest of the people.
Flip say elevator music loud. Too funny. All right,
said
Flip.
What are you talking about?
Nah, just the quiet. Joe, they got nothing to say.
Oh, Flip,
Oh, yeah.
Flip.
Yeah, yeah.
Talking about, oh, yeah, my boy Flip. Hey, Flip. You remember that legendary video, my boy? I need to go back and watch that. My boy Flip, man. My boy done made my boy go coaching or something, man.
Hey, what's the Vegas over under the Zoolander you want to be a team
God, dog. Hey, with these comments, it
I
ain't
sure
good.
want to tell y'all what I told Angela, but I ain't going to do that. But I think there'll be a LOZ next season.
You said there will be? No, he said Zoo Atlanta.
I meant Zoo Atlanta. I'm
They
sorry,
said-
LOZ.
They
I'm
said
sorry.
outsiders play smoke next week.
I think that, okay,
Good.
so that'll be probably for seeding.
Gates say folks don't even go to the zoo no more with free tickets. Damn. Sydney, you ran from us tonight, man. You ran, Sydney.
You're hiding. You're hiding, Sydney. You hide. I expect the more of you.
We already got our uniform design set up too, man. So
Oh, that what y'all
Food
business
got
in uniform?
that's what he said last week now. So I'm gonna see if he stand on it.
I think he will.
See if he stand
So
on
if
it.
y'all beat them, y'all get uniforms next season.
Hey, man.
Hey,
He must gonna
man.
make him himself.
Did he specify what kind of uniforms y'all
They said
get?
like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, the Army fatigue?
Now, is that what they got? I ain't seen them play yet.
Yeah, I seen them play. I want to say that what it was. I could be wrong, but I want to say it's an Army fatigue.
Yeah, we don't want all that junk. We want some jerseys.
Bro, that's what I be saying.
We don't need all that.
bro.
Yeah, all that new stuff. They can have all that, Joe. All right, James, anything else, bro?
No, that's it. Well, no, that's not it. We do have an election coming up here in Georgia. It's going to be John Ossoff versus Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh,
Yeah, Senate.
she's running for.
And Trump is endorsing her.
Of course he is.
So this is not the time to withhold your votes. Please get out.
That's it.
We didn't think Agent Orange was going to be able to pull off what he pulled off.
Nope, sure.
And it was because a lot of us decided not to vote or go try that foolishness. So just make sure we out there at the polls in these midterms because we can't have her in Congress at all. Did you see the video? They was doing a then and now with the Cubans that were having the party singing Trump, 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 and then under it they had how Trump has revoked 580,000 of their citizenships. Yeah, I wonder if they're still singing Trump now.
Trump ain't bullshitting.
Oh, shout out to YB4L for having the Player of the Week this season. Man won it for this week, Player of the Week.
That's another
Shout
dude.
out,
That's
shout out, man.
That nigga, man, different, boy.
He different. That man been like that his whole life.
Facebook the other day they showed it was like somebody from UT talking to Lee, and then the Nick played with Lee catching the interception, and then the Nick played with Lee catching the touchdown. I'm like,
Oh, now lead that dude too, man. That's some ball. Hey, that's what I'm saying, man. I don't know what he got to be talking about, man, but whatever.
That's why I don't see how they can say nothing about YB. Like, y'all
I'm saying easy to say now, bro. We been around for so long, you know what I mean? Everybody that looked up, but everybody that looked up to us, you know what I mean, and wanted to be something, you feel me? Like, they feeling themselves now. Like, when we first came in, like Shockwave, YC, all them teams, you know what I'm saying? It was hard for us to beat them at first, you feel me? Like, I never take that away. But one thing I can say is, the same way we are now, that how we came in, like, hey man, we this, we that, we, you know what I mean? We didn't wait till we got this or got that or won this or won that. No, we came in, you know what I mean, like it was. So it like, you know what I mean, guys, they just talk, man. Like I say, I don't really worry about it though, man. Cause like I say, we were really like the only team that really wasn't playing no type of ball. You feel me? Like even when we came in the league, we had what New Jack doing now, the 6 games, you feel me? But before that, we wasn't playing no 7-man and co-ed and 5-man and all that. So, you know, guys just talk now, you feel me? They ride with their partners, you feel me? I don't worry about it though, cause they talk to me, it gonna get real. I'm gonna be the hater, you feel me? Cause I'm gonna tell them like it is, and then when I tell them like it is, it gonna be a problem. You did. It ain't gonna.
all you gotta do
He
is
ain't gonna sit well with them. So then they gonna have to look at their homeboy like, damn, bro, I really thought you were goddamn this
Like
and
that,
that, but
yeah, you ain't like that.
you only beat them boy one time in a championship game, and it took 3 teams.
Yeah.
So if I say that, then I'm gonna be the hater. So I just sit back and chill, bro. Let them boys
Man,
let
just tell them
everybody
folks-
get their shine on.
tell
New
them to line
team,
it
you
up.
know what I mean?
Tell them line this shit up. Let their team play yours.
But shit, you know, hopefully we all start back showing up, man. Get back the groove. And it been feeling good being out there though, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna. Been feeling real good. So you know, just let them boys talk, man.
Oh yeah. At some point they gotta get on the field. So hey, it's all good. Hey man, good stuff, gentlemen. Y'all at spring practice right now, Mont? Where y'all at on your team?
Spring started up April the 14th. We
Okay.
just really been working out. We work out every morning. Well, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 6:30 in the morning. Then in the afternoon, I get the backs and we work. If I don't got all the backs, you know what I'm saying, I have my boy out there, you know what I'm saying, working. So we really just working. We looking real good this year. I'm living our team this year. We got a real big chance at winning. Last year we lost in the second round to Calhoun, and actually Calhoun went on to win the championship. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So
so that's
You feel me? But we got a real solid squad. You know, we really should be in the Final Four with no problem this year in 3A. Got some great coaching, great young kids. You know that listening, want to learn. We actually played Nate no,
yeah?
and all them. Yeah, we played on
Okay.
spring game. You feel me?
Okay.
So I'm excited about that one. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Nate's son quarterback over there. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
a good thing. You know, good to see that. So, but yeah, we straight. We looking good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Y'all get some signees out there.
Yeah, we got a lot of players that done came in too. A whole lot, you feel me? Young guys too. I think we might have got on our team this year. We might got 3, maybe 4 seniors.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, wow.
we got a real young squad.
Okay.
Our quarterback left, but we still got some guys that were behind them that can get the job done. We feel real good about. You know what I'm saying? We still got some playmakers. One of our top players left, Casey. He went to McKeachum. He was one of the top players as a 9th grader, you know what I'm saying? Real true baller, you did. But we still straight though, so I'm excited about this year. I'm real excited about this.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good luck to y'all this season, man. All right, gentlemen. Everybody be safe out there, man. Park where you supposed to park. Keep the smoke off the field. Do the right thing, man, so we can keep this thing moving.
Keep smoke on the field.
You know what smoke I'm talking about that time.
There we go.
Hey, man. ATL Flag Football Podcast, and we out.